Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are gonna discuss human resource management. We are using chapter 2, job analysis and design. This is coming from McGraw-Hill, from Canadian Human Resource Management Strategic Approach by Krista Ugertlev Knight. Okay, so we're gonna begin this chapter with a number of learning objectives. Number one, we're gonna have the uses of job analysis information for human resource managers. Discuss the step. Number two, discuss the step in conducting job analysis. And number three, describe the content of job description and specifications. Number four, discuss the various approaches in performance standard. Number five, define the competency and describe the models itself. And number six, outline the consideration in the job design. Okay. All right. Let's start again in the job analysis. There's a systematic study of job discovery and specification. So the use for all HR functions will be including wage setting, recruitment, training, performance, management, and job redesign. Job terminology, job analysis terminology is that job is related to activities and duty, may be held by one or several employees. The position is a collection of tasks responsibility performed by individual. An example is the department such as one supervisor, there's 3 minimeters and 12 programmers, 16 positions, but only have 3 jobs. Okay, also an example here. HRM analysis that rely on the job analysis. Okay, all the way from 1 end to the number 10. Careful study job to improve employee productivity levels, elimination of unnecessary job requirements, creation of job advertisement to generate pool of qualified applicants. Number 4, matching for job applicants to job requirements, planning for future human resource requirements. Number 6, to determine the employee onboarding and training needs. Number 7, fair and equitable compensation of employees. Number 8, identification of realistic and challenging performance standard. Number 9, redesign to job performance and morale and quality of work life. Number 10, fair, accurate appraisal of employee performance. What are the next one? The step of job analysis. Number 1, phase 1, preparation of job analysis. Phase 2, collection of job analysis informations. Number 3, use of job analysis informations. Okay, in terms of the phase 1 preparations, number 1, you need to become familiar with the organization of its job. For example, I used to be a senior business system analyst. You need to become familiar what are the role of the senior business system analyst, right? Number 2, step, determine uses of job analysis informations. Step 3, identify jobs to be analyzed. Okay. Number 4, step, determine sources of job data. And number non-human resources. Number 5, step 5, which is identify the data required, which include job identification, duty, responsibility, human characteristic, working conditions, performance and standards. For example, my previous job as a senior business analyst, my duties include all the system analysis requirement, business requirement gathering, include all the system available system and data requirement of the company, and then working condition mostly in the office, sometimes can also do online. Performance standard, the type of KPI that is given to you by the boss, that we have to follow the KPI standard of the performance. And then step 6, choose the method of data collection, either using interview, focus group, questionnaires, employee logs, observation, as well as combinations. Okay, that's phase 2, which is the step number 6. And then phase 3 will be use of job analysis information, such as job descriptions. So, for example, what kind of job, what described in terms of the requirements, and some specification, like job specification, for example, the type of specific system that you need to know. For example, like I was in Bank of Montreal, you have to know ICI Broadridge, which is the system being used there. You need to know Bloomberg, you need to know the STS system, you need to know SAP BO. That's the kind of the specification. Job standard, the type of standard that's being required. For example, analytical skill, okay, or ability to do basic, intermediate, and as well as advanced, soft like Excel, and then competency models. Okay. Content of typical job description. The key part of job description can be job identity, summary, duties and responsibility, working condition, as well as approvals. So most of the hiring is done, like when I was with BMO as well, the hiring is done by managers, but it goes all the way to the directors level. Okay, job identity, job title, job location, and code it has a national occupational classification code. It's called NOC. It has skill level and skill type, industry and occupational mobility. Okay. Job summary and duties. Summarize the job in few sentences. Indicate what job is. Indicates how the job is done. Explain how the job is required. Its major duty is described in terms of action and expected. Working condition and approval. Working condition may go beyond description of the physical environment. Hours of work, safety and health hazard, travel requirements, and other features of the job. Example, the standard working hour 37.5 hours most of the time in Canada here, Monday to Friday. Okay, sometimes you are required to work on the weekends, especially during system upgrade. When I do a lot of system upgrade, and I have to work overtime from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for doing the testing to make sure all the go live went well. Okay, approvals review by job holders as well as the supervisors. And then job specifications. It is a written statement that explains human knowledge, skill, abilities, and other characteristics needed to do the job. It includes experience, specific tools, action, education, training required. So most of the job that requires as a senior business system analyst, you must have at least an MBA level kind of educations, example, or you must have agile training or that kind of certification. Or if you are in accounting, you must have a CPA certifications. And then includes physical and mental demands on the job holders because of because it is a white collar job. Mostly our physical and mental will be standard wise. But if you work in, like, say, in a factory, you are required to do a lot of stand up. That is also another different requirements. Okay. Now, the job performance standards. The performance expected is based on the objective or target for the employer first. The criteria also included in terms of measuring the job success. And then the source of standard can be job analysis information as well as alternate sources. For example, here I'm going to give you an example. If you are working in a auto factory assembly line, let's say Toyota produce 10 cars in every hours. That the standard that you also assume is about 10 cars. If you work in somewhere else like Honda or Mitsubishi or maybe Ford or GMC. Okay. Competency model. Competency model is the knowledge of ability, behavior associated with the success of the job. It has a broader in scope than the KSO, communications in bracket. Okay. Competency model is based on the competency framework. It describes the competency required in a particular job. Example, like a senior business system analyst required to have the knowledge of the programming, some of the programming language, at least the basic level. Competency metric, a list of level, each competency required for several job of an organization. I was an analyst. You are required to have at least a CPA level designations. Job design consideration, effective design, from the organized considerations all the way to economic considerations, employees consideration, job specialization consideration, as well as environmental consideration, all the job design there. And then organizational consideration include the efficiency and achieving maximum output with minimal input, scientific management and industrial engineering principle, and then stress efficiency and effort in terms of labor and cost and training, and as well as employee learning time. The workflow, the sequence or the balance between job and innovation need to produce the forms of good and services. Okay. Now another one, the ergonomic consideration, that you must consider the physical relationship between worker and the work. Some places provide ergonomic chairs. That's one example. If you work with computers all the time, there's a possibility you will have some kind of fatigue sitting down there. Some company provide ergonomic chairs. Some company provide a very user-friendly mouse, something like that. And then the key is basically lead to efficiency and productivity or workplace safety. That's the key part. To reduce accident level or fatigue level. Now, what is employee consideration in terms of job characteristic model? There's 5 job characteristics here, and then there's a physiological test and the level of outcome. For example, here in terms of job characteristic, from variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, as well as feedback. In terms of psychological state, there's a meaningful work here. If you go all this here, variety, task identity go all the way to meaningful work. Autonomy go to responsible for work outcome. Feedback is go to knowledge of result work. The thing is provided high motivation, high performance, high satisfaction, as well as low absenteeism and turnover. Basically, the more autonomy given, that level of trust you given to your employee or your staff, the more likely they are more responsible with the work outcomes. They have high motivation. You give a positive feedback as well constructive criticism. The key part in the feedback is to always provide constructive criticism, not demeaning or downgrading a personality or work. Okay, and then employee considerations is that autonomy, having control of one's work and response to work environments. Variety is the opportunity to use different skills or perform different activities. Task identity is the feeling of responsibility or pride from doing the entire piece of work. If there's task identity, that's the key part. And then the feedback I just mentioned to you, it helps to evaluate success or failure. Remember, the feedback that you always give to your employee has always to be positive, constructive criticism. Do not degrading or undermining their characteristic. That is going to be demoralizing to the employees. Okay, task significance, knowing that the one's work is very important. Okay, and then there's a job specification as well as in terms of increase of quality of work of life, such as job rotations, job enlargements, job enrichment, as well as employee involvement or teams. What is the environmental consideration? In terms of workplace availability, and availability to the people who will do the work. Excuse me. As well, there's a social expectation of a larger society and the workers. Work practice, set ways of performing works. Okay. Job analysis and the gig economy and adopt future-oriented style in describing job activity specification. Focus on the new competency required and will continue to be relevant for the legal compliance. Basically, you keep updating your competency. For example, in the IT sector, every 5 years, there's a cycle. Every 5 years, you need to know your to get your knowledge on the competency. And I remember in the 80s, there's 3 programming language that is very common, like such as Fortran, COBOL, as well as basics. Now everybody is doing Python, everybody is doing C++, everybody in JavaScript. This is a different kind of language. So this is the competency required. Is all you need to make sure you get updated all the time in terms of the job analysis. Okay, and then after the mastering of this chapter, you should be able to basically describe the uses of job analysis, discuss the step in conducting job analysis, describe the content of job descriptions, discuss the various approach in setting performance standard, define the competency and describe the competency model, and outline the key consideration in job design. So all of this is you should be able to do so after reviewing this chapter. So I'm going to conclude today's chapter. Hopefully you can enjoy it, and we're gonna see you in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye.